I got into a really bad accident. I was working at the time. I worked at this pharmacy. I was delivering meds or whatever. I fainted behind the wheel on the Merritt Parkway. I was going like 50 and I hit a tree head on. I remember the first time putting headphones on after like I woke up from the surgery or whatever, and like I started bawling out in tears, dude. It was so emotional for me just to hear music after going through something like that. It was just crazy. I guess I could say that, like, I've always loved music, but that accident really made me, like, you know, appreciate it more.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mike Squires and Friends podcast. You can support by subscribing on YouTube or downloading on your preferred podcast platform. And definitely go do that because it helps us grow and I can have more incredible guests on the podcast. The Mike Squires and Friends podcast is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Looking to broaden your musical horizons as an artist? Discover DistroKid. With its smooth and rewarding music distribution platform, DistroKid offers unlimited uploads while ensuring artists retain 100% of their royalties and earnings. Join the community of over 1 million artists who trust DistroKid to distribute their music across major platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok, Tidal, and so many others. Having personally used DistroKid since 2018, I can attest to their superiority amongst distribution services. Collaborating with fellow artists has become effortless, especially with the ability to easily send splits of songs, streamlining the creative process. With the DistroKid app, accessing these benefits is now more convenient than ever. Safely sign up or log in with two-factor authentication, upload releases on the fly, monitor earnings, and withdraw funds from your DistroKid bank. Stay updated on royalties through push notifications, effortlessly share hyperfollow links, manage account details seamlessly, and track streaming stats from Spotify and Apple. Additionally, explore Mixia for professional-grade mastering, DistroVid for music video distribution, and Instant Share for secure file sharing with collaborators, producers, and more. The DistroKid app is available on both iOS and Android. Download it today from the App Store or Google Play Store to revolutionize your music career. Visit distrokid.com/VIP/Mike Squires to get 30% off your first year membership. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Mike Squires and Friends. Today I'm joined by an incredible engineer, an incredible artist, longtime friend of mine, Mike Melodia.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Mike Squires and Friends podcast, dude.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited to have you up here. For people that, I kind of just gave you an intro, but for people who might not know you, you know, maybe give a little explainer to everything that you do,
so
who you are.
I'm an engineer based out of CT. I'm also a Latin singer, amazing cook. You know, I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I want to bring it all the way back, dude, because as you know, I go through people's social medias, kind of bring it back to the beginning. And you're going to have to excuse me on my Spanish.
Okay.
But I want to bring it back to a mixtape that I think was from 2011.
Okay.
Melodías del Corazón.
Yo, I was hoping you did not find that. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, can we talk about that project, dude?
So that was actually my first dabble into the music industry. All recorded in my bedroom in the basement. It was just me experimenting. I got into music and I wanted to learn how to record myself and, you know, the whole mixing and mastering process. Which was completely awful, but
why was it awful?
It worked. I don't know. Thinking back on where I'm at now and like how far I've come, like a lot of the things that I was doing back in the day to just simply record and just get the music, you know, on a software on the computer, it was bad.
One thing I remember seeing from your early on posts is that you were flexing that you weren't using a USB mic, dude.
It's funny you said, because I was literally going through my Facebook a couple weeks ago, and I was going through them. I'm like, yo, these are so cringy, bro.
So what inspired you to get into music in the first place? Like, what gave you the motivation to even make that first project?
So I got into music because of my stepdad.
Okay.
When him and my mom got together, like, he was kind of still doing the whole DJ thing. And I don't know, I was just curious about what he was doing. And I remember one weekend we went to Pennsylvania and I met one of his cousins that does music. And we spent the whole weekend kind of recording for him. And then he had me record. I've never in my life recorded before. And I remember after that weekend, he my stepfather's cousin gave me. He gave me like a mixer, a microphone, and some speakers because he had just recently upgraded his equipment. He passed down his equipment to me, and he was like, use this for you to get into music and like take it serious or whatever. And just never looked back after that.
So at what point is Double M Studios born?
Double M Studios. Double M Studios was when I turned my bedroom into a studio. Like I took the bed out, all the furniture out, all my clothes, I took it out, put it upstairs in my little sister's closet, and I built a booth, and I just made a studio.
Yeah, and you've owned a lot of studios over the years, and right now I kind of want to talk about where you're at right now with First Class Studios.
Okay.
So how did First Class come together?
So First Class came together with my boy Chris Murda. So before First Class, I was at Lions then with another partner of mine. Things ended there, and me and Murda kind of, spoke about creating a hub for music for creatives here in CT and Stanford. We just, put our ideas together and came up with First Class.
Yeah, I want to paint the pictures of each studios. We kind of discussed this on the Murda podcast, but I want you to paint the picture of Lions Den Studio because for anybody who follows any of my stuff, that's where I did Sample Tape 1.
Yeah.
But I want you to paint the picture of this studio, dude.
So Lions Den was in a basement of a warehouse on Glenbrook. And just like Murda said, it looked like a murder scene. Like, they look like they kill people there.
Dog, I definitely lost life on the back end for being down in that basement for as long as I was, dude.
Yeah, no, it was bad, dude. It was really bad. But hey, it
worked, dude.
It worked for the time, you know what I mean? I met so many artists. I worked with so many different people. And during Lions Den's peak, I feel like, we did amazing things. And it was the starting process of creating that the music scene in Stanford, at least, because I met artists I never even knew rapped or sang, and people I went to school with that I didn't even know did music.
Yeah, no, I met a lot of people at Lions, and is that where we originally connected?
I think so.
Because I know I've known Murda forever. You know what I mean?
I think we officially met there, but yeah.
We might have crossed paths before that.
Probably, but I don't think, it was definitely Lions Den, where we met in person at least.
Yeah. And built our friendship that we have today, dude. But yeah, so Lions Den, now you're at First Class. And it's a pretty big upgrade from Lions Den, dude.
Huge upgrade.
Now let's paint the picture of First Class for the people.
So now First Class, it's all in its name, it's I call it like, I don't want to say like a luxury studio because obviously there's better studios, but compared to what Lions Den was, it's a huge upgrade. We have 3 recording studios, working on a 4th. We got a photo room. It's just a huge step from where we were at, from where we all started at. And it's just getting better and better every day.
What makes a successful studio?
I feel like what makes a successful studio is really, I guess, the people that are in your circle, the engineers there, the people that does reception, like every little thing, like your team is what really makes a studio successful. Because if you don't have the correct people in your team that, provide good vibes, that provide good service, you could go record anywhere. I have people that record with me and have the option of recording in bigger studios that are worth more money, but they choose to come record with me because I provide, that service, that vibe, that comfortability that they might not get in other places. So I feel like First Class provides that. They provide, professionalism. They provide a good vibe. It makes it feel like a family. It's not really, it's a business, but we don't make the person feel like, oh, just give me your money and record. It's more of like, hey, let's build from zero and let's elevate your sound to, maybe you used to just do rap. Let's try singing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just trying to I don't know, just elevate the person and just make them feel comfortable, really.
Yeah, but it also sounds like you're pushing them out of their comfort zone in the
1,000%.
sense of like wanting the artist to level up and, you know, like you said, try singing on this one, try doing it more aggressive, you know? How important do you think is having input as an engineer in the artist and just kind of not doing it for the check and just letting them do their thing?
I feel like that comes with actually loving music because like a lot of people that record me like that I coach, and then there's people that don't like when you coach or when I coach because they're just like, yo, just let me do my thing. This is what I want to do. And you kind of learn, you know, through the sessions that you do, who's open to being coached and who's not open to being coached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I want to bring up too? What's the worst type of client? You know what I mean? Like, what's one of the worst sessions that you have like ever had? We don't have to bring up names, but like if you had a story of a session where you're like, oh my God, this is going on forever, and like why it was bad.
I think probably the sessions I personally don't like, and every engineer is different, are the sessions where, like I said, where the artist doesn't like to be coached, where he's just like, shut up and record me, like, let me do what I want to do. And they could sound awful, or they could be, you know, just not on beat, not in tune. And you like me, as far as me as an engineer, I want to fix it. Like, I want to correct it. But it's like, they don't want you to correct them. And that gets me tight because I'm like, dude, like, let me help you. And it's just like, they don't want to be helped, bro. And I hate that.
So it's more artists that aren't open-minded.
Yeah. It's kind of aggravating, I guess, to work with people like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think there's an expectation when you run a studio of like certain levels of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are some of the more unprofessional things that you've encountered outside of people showing up late, which I know happens every day?
Probably people showing up with like 30 people for a 1 hour session. Dude,
Do you even get anything done when that happens?
No, absolutely not. It's the worst, bro.
So how do you weed out, you know, people that are like very serious about their craft and, you know, people that are just kind of doing it just for the sake of doing it? Like, what brings an artist to the next level?
I guess just how serious they take it, dude. Like, you know, there's people that'll book, I don't know, like 2-3 hour sessions and come late and they just don't care. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you just know when someone does it because they're like serious about it, and when they're not serious about it. It's just, I don't know, it's just a feeling you get from the artist, from the session, like the vibe of it.
Yeah. Have there been any artists that you worked with that you've started and seen them progress crazy over the years to where it's like, oh, this artist is like, you know, it's like kind of, because I know I have artists that I've worked with where I've worked with them early on in their career and, you know, watched them level up to being like, oh, wow, like you really found your sauce.
That I've worked with personally?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Dill.
Yeah, Dill is really dope.
I feel like Dill, as far as people I've worked with, I mean, there's a lot of artists, but off the top of my head right now that I could think of, Dill probably has elevated a lot from when I first recorded him.
What's something that's different from when you first started working with him and now?
His recording process. He's quicker with how he punches in. He's more clever with what he says. Because that's something big for me. Like, a lot of people could freestyle and punch in and punch in and punch in, but does it make sense to what you're saying? Like, does the next line make sense to the prior line? Like, are we still on topic on the song, or are we switching the subject and just saying things because they rhyme? And I feel like that's something that he definitely elevated on, and a lot of other artists too, because that's one of my pet peeves, I guess, right? That's what it's called, pet peeve. It's like, why are you rapping about a girl falling in love with a girl and then you're rapping about fuck that bitch? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you want to have like some sort of consistency. And like, I think, and this is something we could touch on right now too, like, how important do you think it is with artists being authentic in their music? You know, because there's a lot of artists I'm sure you've dealt with a ton of artists that'll talk about stuff that you're like, yo, I know you've never done this.
You know what's funny that you say that? So yesterday I had a session, I'm not going to say any names, but the dude was recording or whatever, and he's talking like a bunch of like nonsense, like killing and money and drugs and shit. And then one of the receptionists comes up to me in the middle of his take, and he's like, "Dude, someone's here looking for so and so." And I'm like, "Who?" She called him by his first name, and I'm like, "I don't know who that is." And I hit the speaker. I'm like, "Yo, they're looking for so and so." He's like, "Oh, that's me." And he's like, "Is that my mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm assuming so." So she comes in, and the microphone is on, and she comes in, and she's like, she starts spazzing her. "I've been outside for 3 hours for you. How many songs have you gotten done?" And then he's like answering her questions or whatever. And she's like, "If you're not downstairs in 10 minutes, I swear to God, boy." Like, she starts going in on him. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Like, this is awkward, bro.
What do you do in moments like that?
That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I felt super awkward, bro. And then she left. And then I'm like, so from the top?
That's pretty good.
But it was funny because the way he was like, dude, he was going crazy. Like,
yeah. But that it's crazy. Like, it is funny how you can go, talking about subjects like that, and then mom's coming here to pick you up. You know what I mean? So that is mad funny.
Yeah.
When things like that happen, though, I mean, you're saying things like that don't happen often, right?
At least the mom part, no. But there's definitely a lot of sessions where people are just rapping just to rap, and it's like, dude, none of what you're saying makes sense. But
have there ever been like sessions that have got cut short for like an out of pocket reason?
Nah, I don't think I've had that experience yet, at least.
Well, that's good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I want to talk to you about? Before we leave the engineer circle, we had a viral video together.
Yeah.
And, I can paint the picture of this video. So the premise of the video was, Das would be like represent the artist, I was representing the producer, you were representing the engineer, So Das would be like, "I'm an artist. Of course I'm going to do a million takes, right? I'm a producer. Of course, my kick's too loud."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "I'm the engineer," and we'd cut you off every single time. Which on surface, the video did really well. Yeah. Very funny.
Yeah.
But there kind of is like another side of it where it's like, do you think engineers are not getting the respect that they deserve?
I feel like now they are starting to get the respect they deserve. Maybe not all of it, but it's definitely getting there, at least compared to what it used to be. Because now, if you really look at it, engineers are starting to be like hybrids, where they also produce, they also mix and master, they track, they write. Like, an engineer nowadays is kind of like a combination of everything. And I feel like it's something that the music society kind of pushed, like kind of forced them to be, because it's like, why hire someone that only knows how to do this if I could hire this guy for a cheaper rate and he could do all of it,
yeah,
at the same time.
I can relate to that sentiment because when I toured, I originally was just a video guy, but when the tour came around, they're like, "We need a photo video guy." I was like, in my head, I just said yes to the gig, but then in my head, I'm like, well, I guess I'm learning photos now. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh wait, so you didn't do?
I never
photos
did.
Wasn't your...
I didn't do photos until I had to.
Oh,
you know what
shit,
I mean? I
didn't
never
know that.
did photography.
I thought you did both.
No, so I only was a video guy, and thankfully, I'm very thankful it was kind of that way than the opposite because I feel photos a lot easier to learn once you have video down versus like, video. There's a lot you have to learn that is not within photo. You know what I mean? Where it's like getting a still image. Oh, I could do that. Where it's like, making sure the shot's smooth is like a whole other like technical thing. But I want to bring it back to you. Like, what's something you feel like you've had to learn while on your journey of like engineering?
I feel like I had to learn the production side of things. As far as like the beat, for a while I kept messing up like what a snare and a hi-hat was when I would write the names of what the file was when they would send me stems, just because I was never like into making beats and whatever. I just had no interest in it. So it was something I had to learn, like doing beat cuts, doing effects on just the production side of the instrumental of a song. That's something that I felt like I had to learn in order to elevate as an engineer.
Yeah, what's been one of the toughest things with running a studio business?
I feel like one of the toughest things is probably trying to keep everyone on the same page or trying to keep everyone as motivated as you, or even more motivated than you, because there's times where, we're human. We all have our down days where we just don't we're just not 100% there. You know what I mean? So I feel like one of the harder things is trying to keep everyone or hold everyone to a high standard, and just, you know, if your fellow, you know, engineer, your fellow brother is down, like pick him up type of thing.
Yeah. You talked about motivation, and I really want to like hone in on that too, because it's like, you know, how do you push through on those days where, you know, this is a hard industry, you know, it's a roller coaster of emotions, you know, the highs are high, but those lows can be low, you know? So how do you keep yourself, do you have any like tips for like self-motivation?
I'm a strong believer in like manifestation. Like,
Okay.
I feel like if you want something, you got to manifest it. So I feel like, I mean, for me, that helps me a lot. Like just talking yourself through it, really. Like I'm going to get that plaque. I'm going to make this amazing track. I'm going to work with so-and-so, you know. I feel like that super crucial for self-motivation.
Yeah. Do you find yourself getting discouraged a lot within music?
Oh yeah, 1,000%, dude.
How come?
It's because it's like you put your all. You're so vulnerable, especially as an artist, where you literally talk about whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you experienced, and you're letting the whole world know. Like, you could be talking about the most deepest secrets of your life, and someone could be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," and just like, you know what I mean?
Keep it pushing.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's hard.
It's so tough being an artist. That's why I don't like. If this industry is not meant for somebody, like I don't put any pressure on them to like keep. Obviously, if it's a homie, I want to see them keep going, but I also understand that it's tough, dude, and it's like not meant for everybody. And like you're saying, like to pour your heart out, spend the money, do the whole time, like of the video, the promo, the everything, just for it to be like, you know what I mean?
Or for
like,
someone to say, "Is this a mix?"
Yeah, like, that's great.
Is this mixed and mastered? Like,
yeah,
and spent 10 hours on it.
Well, and it's tough, dude. You know what I mean? So when you're pushing through those like tough days within music, you know, like what really keeps you going? Like, where's the passion in your music from originally?
Probably my stepdad, like I said before.
Yeah.
Like, he really made me want to do music, you know, since the start. And I feel like, you know, everything I've ever done, I've always kind of like, once it got tough, kind of gave up on it. And I feel like music was the only thing that, when it got tough and when it is tough, because it is tough, you know, I still kept my head held high and just kept going, even when I wanted to give up, you know?
Yeah, no, because music, I mean, it is tough, you know what I mean? And like, there is a lot of self-doubt. I was talking about this with my girlfriend earlier today. I'm like making a funny skit. But it's kind of like the whole skit premise is that there's like self-doubt in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Like you could be up here like mad eager, and then like in the back of your head, you got that little voice where it's like, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, 1,000%, bro. I feel like as creatives, whether it's music or any type of art, it's one of the most, you know, depressing careers, dude, because it's like it can happen and it cannot happen, but are you willing to you know, live through it and see what will happen, or, you know what I mean, or push through it and make it happen?
Yeah. I mean, it can be like a really, like I said, those low moments can be low, because the thing about music too, it's just not guaranteed. Like you could put in all the work. You could work every single day, 24/7, and be good. And this is still not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't really hold it against anybody if they like fade to the background, because it's tough, dude.
Yeah.
And it's not for the weak, you know? So what do you think makes people stand out and like get to that next level? You know, what's that factor besides like delusion?
Besides delusion. I feel like it's just the time you put in, dude. Like, you know, only time will tell who sticks around, who pushes through, and who gives up. Like, when I say that, I always, like, I think of this. You ever seen that meme where the guy's like, there's two pictures of two guys like chiseling,
and there's like the diamonds? Yeah.
And I feel like that portrays perfectly like anyone in the artist industry. Like, you could either keep going and wait till you find that diamond, or you could give up and you might have fucked up because the diamond was literally right there.
Yeah.
You just didn't wait it out. So it's like, you got to keep pushing, dude.
And I think that is a good like perspective to like give people too, because it's like you could be right there. You know what I mean? I want to bring it to your artist career too. And I think something that you've done is smart. And I think all artists should dabble with maybe at some point. But you've done a lot of remixes.
Yeah.
I know you did a 0 to 100 remix.
Yeah.
I know you did a Bodak Yellow remix, dude. I know you did a God's Plan remix.
I did. I'm a huge Drake fan. You know, Drake fan.
we can get into the Drake fan in a second, but with the remixes, how's the reception when you release a remix?
You know, it's crazy, dude. I think you get more. Well, at least in my experience, you get more love doing remixes. I guess because it's kind of more interesting to see how you flip someone else's instrumental or whatever. But I in my experience, I feel like you get more attention, more love out of doing that.
And I brought this up because I did want to talk about it. And you definitely do get a better response with remixes when you're starting out, just because people are familiar with it as well. You know what I mean? It's like, what are they going to listen to? The song that they've never heard about, which could be a great song, or the song that's on the radio that they know they love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So remixes could be a great way just to like, getting your name out there more. One of the smartest things I've seen done in a long time was my homie Atlas. And like, you would recognize him through one of the songs that were on Sample Tape 1. But when he started his YouTube page, I mean, he must have done 100 covers. So basically all these people all these videos are getting views because, people love the Drake song, people love the Kid Laroi song, people love it. So all his covers are getting views. And then when he started releasing his original music, he would make it so that all those videos on the end would link to his original song. So he basically had 100 covers that were
pushing his
original stuff. So I wanted to bring it up because of that, because, some people might be like, nah, I don't want to do a remix. But again, that could be the thing that like
ignites the other stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
1,000%. That's actually a dope idea.
Yeah.
No, a lot of the people that I've worked that are new to the music stuff, I usually tell them like, yo, like actually there's this girl that I started recording, and she's never done music before, and she was like, how do I get into it? Because I don't know how to write. And I was like, so do covers, that'll help, I don't know, get you exposure, and then you could start, learning to write little by little to make your own original music. So I don't know, I feel like it's a dope idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to let the Drake fan thing slide right now. Tough time to be a Drake fan, right?
Man, Team Drake.
I mean, when you see a beef like this happen, I don't want to talk about it too long because it's a little off, like, but, as someone who is a Drake fan, like, how does it feel to like...
Man, I don't care about none of that, bro. He makes amazing music, like... Fuck all that other stuff, bro.
No, that's fair, dude. That's fair. But, like, what do you think makes a Drake, stand out amongst all of his peers?
Well, like, from when he started?
Well, yeah, just like music, like, there haven't been that many artists that have been as consistent as Drake staying on the top of the charts from, like, a 2008 till now.
I just feel like the whole singing, rapping thing, that was what really caught my attention with him was, back in the days, it was a lot of duo stuff where there was the singer and then there was the rapper that did the verses. Like Drake was both. He was the guy on the hook singing that was catchy, and then he was spitting bars on the verses, like relatable things. That's what stands out for me. Like he's just relatable, dude, and it could be the most simplest things. Like I don't know, I brushed my teeth with my left hand. You know what I mean? Like it's just relatable.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying about being like the one-stop shop, like being able to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if he is the singer and the rapper, all the money goes to him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have to divvy it up with like someone who's on the hook. You know what I mean? So I think if there's anything that people should take away from that, it's like, don't be afraid to experiment, which really kind of goes back to what we were saying before of you like pushing artists to like get outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably why, like, that's crazy that you say that. That's probably why I push people to do different things and try different techniques with the whole just recording process and creative process of things. Because it's like, yeah, you want to be a jack of all trades kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you want to be a master at something, but it doesn't hurt to try other things and be good at other things as well.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about some stuff that's happened in your life, too, if you're cool to talk about it.
I think so. Depends.
In 2016, I saw you got into a car accident.
Oh yeah. So that's crazy. Um so I got into a really bad accident. I was working at the time. I worked at this pharmacy. I was delivering meds or whatever. And I'd fainted behind the wheel and on the Merritt Parkway. I was going like 50 and I hit a tree head on. And I had to get surgery and all this other shit. It was crazy, dude. Like I don't even remember the accident, to be honest, because I fainted during it. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. I actually created, after that accident happened, that's when I created one of my favorite projects, which was it was called King Melody, and that project came from that accident. Like I recorded and mixed and mastered everything myself from my own home, pretty much like in my bedroom. It was crazy times.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up though because I know when things like that happen. Now I've never been into a car accident, but I've had my fair share of life-changing moments. You know, how do you feel your perspective changed after the accident?
Oh, it changed completely, dude. I remember the first time putting headphones on after, like, I woke up from the surgery or whatever, and, like, I started bawling out in tears, dude. Like, it was so emotional for me just to hear music after going through something like that. It was just crazy. I guess I could say that, like, I've always loved music, but that accident really made me, like, you know, appreciate it more and, like, really be emotionally invested into it. And I guess at that time, that was the missing piece for me to be able to do that project, was the emotional connection to music, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes a ton of sense, dude. And it just, like, you know, just shows you that our time here is fragile, you know? Yeah. And that, like, nothing is guaranteed or promised. So, you know, to have that change of perspective, you know, it probably made you have a moment, maybe, and correct me, but you might have had a moment where you're like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I'm here. I got a second chance. This is what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like I said, after that, my eyes opened to that. And I think maybe shortly after that was when I kind of started really going crazy with just the engineering side of things too.
Yeah, I want to talk to you. So, like, at what point after that does it become like a business where you're like really taking in sessions and, you know, turning this into a career path for you?
So after that, I couldn't work for a while because it was like difficult for me to just be on my feet for a long period of time, and I needed money. Like, so I started doing sessions. Because at first, Double M Studios was just a personal studio where it was just for me and my peoples. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to open my doors up because it was in my house, dude. I didn't want a bunch of randoms walking in my house, but...
I know that feeling.
Yeah. Whatever. I spoke to my parents about it, and they were cool with it. And that's when I kind of started really engineering other artists and kind of making it into a business. And then I did that for maybe like 2-3 years, and then, you know, that's when I took the next step, which was Lines Then, and then after that was First Class.
Yeah. How has it been with like the business side of music too? Because it's a hard thing, you know what I mean? Like, I know, trust me, I understand, like, because a lot of these artists that are coming on the rise, and that's like one thing I commend not only you, but like, you know, Murda and a lot, you guys will take chances on artists that are on the rise that may not have those industry budgets, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's kind of a tricky one.
Yeah, or like what makes you believe in an artist?
It's really the dedication that they have, you know, to the music. Because, like I said before, anyone could come in and rap and say a bunch of nonsense, but how dedicated are they to what they're doing? Like, are they willing to work the extra hours at their 9-to-5 job? Are they willing to get a second job? Are they willing to hustle and do whatever they got to do to be able to provide for, you know, the studio time and, you know, the music videos, the promo, the marketing, all that other stuff that goes behind? Like, it's not just recording the song and putting it out. Like, it's, you know, that's the easy part. It's the other stuff that's behind it that really makes being an artist difficult.
Yeah, the sacrifice,
Yeah,
dude.
and it's all about sacrifice. Music is all about sacrifices. If you're not willing to sacrifice certain things in your life, this this game is not for you. This career is not for you.
Yeah. And now that you've been in the game for as long as you have, what's some advice that you'd give to a younger you?
To a younger me, I would definitely tell young Melodia to focus on music. Fuck everything else, dude. I was so worried about at the time I had this little girlfriend that just fucked me up completely, and I was just so focused on that, and it's like I could have done so much more with my music career. Like I was supposed to go to college for music. I didn't go because I didn't want to be far away from my family. I didn't record other artists because I was just like, fuck that. I don't want my sauce to be with all the other, you know what I mean? Like, it was just dumb shit, bro. And I just wish I could tell myself in the past and just be like, yo, focus on the music, do what you got to do, and just keep your head, held high, and just keep going, dude. Like, show what you know, show it to the next person. Like, stop being greedy, stop being arrogant, stop being, you know what I mean? Like, just focus on the music, dude. That's it.
And what's something you had to overcome?
For what?
Just getting to where you are now, like a bump in the road that just was, you thought you might not have bounced back from.
I think it would be the accident, dude. Like, I felt like after that accident, like, I was like, damn, I'm not going to be able to have a job for a while. I'm not going to be able to invest in music. Like, what am I going to do? I'm fresh out of high school. Like, I was just lost. And that was probably one of the lowest moments in my life. And, thankfully, I was able to overcome that.
Yeah. How do you get your mental in a good space after, having a moment like that?
Just listening to music, being around positive people.
I think that's huge, actually.
Yeah. Because if you're around people that are just like, they kind of want, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but if, people that are like, oh, live a normal life is what they say. Like, get a nice job, get a career, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're just going to end up being like them. And it kind of becomes like a cycle where it's like, you're not doing what you love to do. You're kind of miserable at that point.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. I've said it a million times on this podcast, and I'm happy to emphasize it now. You said you weren't worried about offending people. Listen, if you hang around a bunch of bums,
you're going to be a bum.
You're going to be a bum. And if you are listening to this and think that you might be a bum and look at your friends and you think that they are bums, there is a solid chance that maybe you are a bum. But don't worry, it's not too late for you. There's still hope. There's still a chance. You just got to take a step back and reevaluate. But you totally are the people. I don't care what anyone says. You are the people you hang around. But
you are 1,000%. And you know what's crazy, bro? Like, I was having this conversation with Murda because funny thing is he went to like a barbecue and he had told me, he's like, dude, like, we were kind of talking about everything we've gone through and where we're at now. And he was like, yo, like, that's a normal life type of thing. You know what I mean? And that's what he doesn't want to live. He has high expectations and huge goals, bro. And sometimes I kind of fall into the thing where it's like, I just want to settle for where I'm at now. But, this motherfucker won't let me. He's like, no, dude, like, you're not supposed to live like that. Like, that's not how you're going to live. This is how you're supposed to live.
Having people around you that push you up is so important.
Super important, bro. Super, super important.
Because the thing is with music, you're not going to be motivated every day. It's tough. You know what I mean? Like, things fall apart. Like, things happen, There's like, and especially with music, like, sometimes it only takes like one little thing to kind of like mess up the whole domino effect of what you're building, So it's like having people around you just to be like, yo, we got this. We're going to keep it going. We're good. Helps. Because the opposite, like, sometimes if you're sitting by yourself, the mind can be a crazy place.
Powerful. Mind is powerful.
Yeah, on both ends. Yeah. Like both positive and negative.
1,000%.
And it kind of goes back to like manifesting too.
Yeah.
What's something that like you do when you're manifesting that like keeps your goals in check? How do you divide your goals? Like, do you do long-term, short-term? Like, what works for Mike Melodia?
I like the long-term stuff.
Okay.
To be honest. Like, I feel like if you have your eyes set on where you want to go, everything else will kind of push you to there. You can worry about the little steps, as you go, but as long as you stay focused on the bigger picture, like there's no stopping you from reaching that.
Yeah. Do you remember the best day that you ever had in the studio?
The best day I've ever had in the studio? Damn. I think the best day I ever had in the studio was when we finally finished the Purple Room, we call it, which is the smaller studio. And me and Murder were kind of setting it up. And I remember having like a flashback of how the room looked like before we started constructing it and everything. And I don't know. I just felt like I felt happiness at that moment because I'm like, damn, like we really put a lot of our bread into this. And now like we could finally work in here. Like,
yeah, and it becomes like a reality, dude.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie, bro. There was a lot of times where I'm like, yo, this is never going to get done, bro. This studio is never going to get finished. And now it's shit. We got where we're at now, and there's a lot more to go.
Yeah. I'm like, what really keeps you pushing, though, too? Like, because there are moments, too, where I've been halfway through a project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're not seeing the results that you want to see yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What keeps you, like, do you have, like, discipline that just, like, pushes you through those moments? Like, how do you get through the headspace of, like, yo, this is never going to get done?
I don't know, dude. I just be like, bro, stop being a bitch, keep going. Like, that's this. I say that to myself in my head so many times.
And the alternative is so much worse. You know what I mean? Because the alternative is like, well, what happens if we don't get this done?
Yeah, I try to not even listen to that voice, bro. The voice in my head is stop being a bitch, keep going. That's it.
Yeah. I want to bring this to, I'm trying something in each episode now where I talk about like something that's like trending, just to see like what it does for, our good old friend, the algorithm.
Okay.
You're a big Diddy fan.
What? Who said that?
No, I know. But yo, is it like when you see something like that happen, dude?
What? That's a wild. That's
crazy
wild.
Transition, dude.
That's a crazy transition. That might be top 5 craziest transitions you've ever had, bro.
What's going on with Diddy, dude?
Bro, I don't know. You gotta ask Das, bro.
No,
Das.
That's crazy, dude.
You, that kid knows everything. He might have a T-shirt with a Diddy face on it.
Oh no, dude. We gotta keep it pushing, dude. But yeah, what do you think's next for you, dude?
Recently I've been really kind of tapping in more with the artist side of things, and I feel like what's next for me is just putting more music out and also creating a Latin scene in Stanford. Obviously I want it to be a CT thing, but I got to start from where I'm at. But I've been working a lot with a couple Latin artists, my boy Tison, my boy Fresco, and I'm just that's kind of like my personal goal right now is to kind of create that Latin music scene and kind of curate the sound for that. Because I've gone to Florida to work with a lot of like big Latin artists, and one of my good friends, Nye, has plugged me into like a lot of big names and stuff. So I want to bring that here to CT. Like Latin music is, bro, that's my passion, bro. That's where I want to go.
Yeah, and I feel like I've seen you already doing it because I always see you performing.
Yeah.
How important is performance to you?
Performances are super important, bro. They're dope. You get to interact with the crowd. You get to meet new people. You get to see how people react to your music. Just the experience of it, like it's super important, bro. As an artist, like for you to develop, it's dope.
Yeah, and when you connect with people, what's something that you kind of have learned with just doing these live shows?
It helps with the creative process because now, like, as far as when I'm creating music, I always think about, is this something that people are going to chant? Is this something that people are going to, bump in their cars when they're leaving the club? Or is this something that the DJ will be like, yo, this is fire, like, and play it back 3-4 times from the top? You know what I mean? Like that. The performances have definitely showed me to make music that's more relatable and, create good vibes for the listeners, no matter where they're at.
Yeah, and I know you've also traveled for music videos too.
Yeah.
What are some of the videos that you've done and traveled, and what was something you remember from shooting one of those videos?
We shot Soltera, which was one of my bigger songs in Puerto Rico. I remember it being hot as fuck, dude. It was like at least 95 degrees that day, bro. And I was just sweating crazy.
That's kind of how I feel right now, dude.
Yeah, it's type hot in here,
It is a little hot in here, dude.
I'm gonna need you to turn that AC on.
Yo, the podcast got to do a couple more downloads before we can turn the AC on.
I'm gonna need you to view this video at least 1 million times because this AC problem can't keep happening.
It's a hot day today. Yeah, I definitely broke a sweat. I can't tell if I broke a sweat because it's hot or the Diddy thing made me uncomfortable.
Nah.
Back to the music video.
Nah, so yeah, that's what I remember most about the music video. It being hot as hell, and I was just sweating bullets, and I was just like, yo, I want to get this over with. Yeah.
Yeah, but the video ended up coming out really sick.
Yeah.
I think we should give Seggy a little shout out too.
Yeah, fact. Shout out my boy Seggy, Big Belly Seggy, feel me?
How did you connect with Seggy? And give an explanation of who Seggy is for the people that don't know.
So Seggy is my boy, my brother. He's a director. He does music videos, photography. He does all of my music videos. If you've seen any of my videos, he's the man behind the camera. The way I met Seggy is crazy. So one of the earlier music videos I ever did, my manager had found him on Facebook.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I remember telling her, like, I don't want to work with him because he's from Bridgeport. Like, I had such a bad, like, experience with just Bridgeport people that I was like, I don't want to deal with him. Like, I don't know what type of time he's on. Like, it was just iffy. And she was like, nah, give him a chance. Like, you never know, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, whatever. So we met up. You know, he had already heard the song before I even sent it to him. He already had, like, all the ideas for the shots and everything. Like, he came prepared, dude. And before even going into the meeting with him, I was like, I had this, you know, image of him in my head, like, oh, this guy's going to waste my time. He wants to take my money, blah, 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 blah. And shit, it ended up turning out good. Like, I lost a lot of money in that video, I'm not going to lie, because the original plan didn't go through and it was just a mess. But the result of it, nonetheless, was dope.
Yeah, and I think that just goes into being an artist, dude. Like, if you're trying to become an artist,
you're gonna lose money, bro. Don't even think you're gonna outsmart everyone. You're gonna lose money. That's a guarantee. Just charge it to the game and fucking move forward, bro.
I couldn't have said it better myself, dude. Because it's just like, it's just what it is, dude. You got to pay your dues.
You have to.
You know, as you go through this, you're just gonna learn and you're gonna be better at it. But like, nah, that didn't work last time. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll do this instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's another thing too that you kind of learned on the come up that's been like from an artist standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. You know, what's something that you've learned that a mistake or something that like you're just like, okay, we can't ever do that one again?
Putting out an album as an independent artist. I could be wrong, but in my experience, if you're an independent artist and you just want to start off and the first thing you think of is putting out an album, that's not it, dude. Do the singles, do as many singles as you can until you create that buzz, you know, create the people actually knowing who you are, and then maybe think about an EP, not even an album yet.
I agree, too, because the thing is, like, the cost of doing a single versus an album, big difference.
Huge difference.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's already going to be hard enough to get people to listen to one song, let alone a full album. You know, you want to drop singles like you're saying to get the people wanting more. You know what I mean? Because if there's no demand, you're just going to spend all this money and no one's going to listen.
Yep. Only you're going to listen to your album, really.
Which, like, over, like, you know, 50 years.
You'll get paid back.
You might see that ROI.
Yeah, no, it's not. The album thing is not it unless you've already developed. You've put the work in. Put the hours in, put the work in, and then you can start thinking about multiple, you know, songs on a project together.
And I really think it depends on what your goals are, too. You know, because, you know, when it comes down to strategy, like, singles are definitely the play to do. And, like, keeping them even on the shorter side. Like, shorter singles are definitely the play. But if you don't even care about that and you're really just creating for yourself, you know, I don't want to like discourage people from creating an album.
Yeah.
But it really depends on what your goals are, you know? Like if your goals are to like do this as a career and like really elevate it, you got to learn the basics. You got to, go to a studio, get your song mixed, like, so that, like, and that's another thing. People don't even know that, like, you have, like, that's part of the process, got to learn studio etiquette and, like, how to even explain to you, I want more reverb on this. I need a delay. I mean, there's a lot that goes into being an artist, and that's just, like, from the music creation side. Then you got to figure out, like, distribution. So, like, a DistroKid, shout out DistroKid, our sponsor. Figure out your publishing. There's, like, a lot of things. And then content's like the name of the game now. So it's like, there's a lot that goes into just starting. You know what I mean? So
that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of people think that the recording process is tough. Like, that's the easiest part of it all. Like, the business side of things is a whole different thing, man.
Yeah. What's something you've learned from, like, the business side? Like, was there something that you tried to do that worked or didn't work?
A lot of things, man. Definitely thinking that I could put a song out and not market it or promo it or do content behind it and thinking that it would blow up just because I love the song. Huge mistake.
Yeah, and that's something I feel like all artists that are, like, on the rise can take something from. You got to do the other stuff. It's only... Listen, you don't buy those products without the commercials that you see. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
And just being creative about how you do it, too.
Yeah, and keeping it authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
1,000%.
Mike, what's your message to the world? If there's one thing that people could take away from you, what is it?
My message to the world would be just be humble and, help people out when you can. It's not always about me. I feel like we're put in this world to, help your fellow brother, help your fellow sister out, and anything you do or anything they do. If there's something that if someone is walking down this trail and that that's not, a right trail and that where that's going to end, like, help them out. Maybe they might not take your advice, but at least you did your thing and you warned them, like, this is not a good idea. And if you're knowledgeable about something that someone's not, too knowledgeable about and they want to learn, like, don't be scared to help them out.
Yeah, definitely don't gatekeep, dude. It's so
gatekeep.
Furious, dude.
And that was one of the bigger things for me in the beginning of my career was, like, I felt like a lot of the people that I looked up to, like, were gatekeeping a lot of information and stuff. And that frustrated me as an artist and kind of like, what's the word? Like unmotivated me to want to continue doing the music thing because I'm like, damn, like, why is he holding on to these secrets, dude? Like, just share. It's not like I'm trying to take what you're doing away. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and at the end of the day, like, because I'm typically an open book, and even on all these podcasts, I just kind of dispersed what I know throughout them. But it's like, if you're holding, like, I can give you my playbook. I can give you what exactly worked for Mike Squires and tell you. But at the end of the day, it lands on you to
use it
and like bring the ball down the field, because I could tell you 100 times, like you could say drop a single 100 times, but if you're not dropping singles, like, it lands on the person. And
what might work for you might not work for the next person. Everyone has a different formula. Like, everyone has a different formula of what works for them. Like, when people put you on information and try to help you out and guide you, like, what's the saying? Like, take it with a grain of what?
Salt.
Take it with a grain of salt, right? And obviously learn and absorb the information that you're getting, but tailor it to what fits and works for you. Like, don't go exactly based off of what someone else is telling you. Like, learn from them, edit it, customize it, and do it your way as well.
Yeah. And if people want to connect with you, find you, get some insider tips from you, dude, how can they connect with you?
So you can follow me on IG, Mike La Melodia with 2 A's. And that's really all my socials, man.
Let's go, dude. And we also do have a record that is just deep in the vault that eventually I hope the people hear. But we do have a banger.
Our track?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's one of those ones that have been hanging out on a hard drive for a hot second.
I'm gonna be Squire's first Latin hit.
Dude, it's
Let
a
that
good
be known.
It is a good song. It is a good song. I love that song. But Mike, I appreciate you coming out on the pod.
Appreciate you, Mike.
It's been a nice little conversation, dude.
Facts.
I'm sure I will see you in the studio shortly.
1000%.
All right, my guy.
Woo.